Good afternoon, Kirsten Liebelt. How are you doing today? Okay, so when my daughter was 13, she found herself pulling her hair. And have you ever been in a position as a parent where for your child, you hoped that there were more answers in life than just scripts? Now, I didn't know anything about, prescriptions back when she was 13. She's 31 now. I mean, I hadn't researched anything. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know that was potentially a road that we were going down for trichotillomania. And we ended up not, but I'll tell you why here in just a second. So she's pulling her hair. She's 13 years old. I say there are so many things that are connected all the time, right? And because of that, one answer that happens for one thing can be an answer for another thing. Well, that's kind of what I'm talking about today. You'll notice I titled it ADD, and I'm talking about my daughter's trichotillomania. Well, it does make you wonder where the connections are sometimes, or why there are adaptogenic herbs that can be so helpful for so many things. So she ends up going to a naturopath, and she is put on supplements that really, really help her. And inside of the supplement, there's an adaptogenic herb that we have later now reverse engineered as to why it was working so well. And it's the herb that I talk about all the time. Well, the other day I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, and we were talking about ADD. And at the exact same time that's happening, I have a video that's on TikTok it's like over 21,000 views, and just a lot of people recently have been downloading it or saving it to their phone, saving it to their file or whatever. And it made me realize, obviously there are a lot of people that are looking for some potential answers. And I thought, you know what? This is what I'm going to talk about today. So we're going to take just a couple minutes, not very long at all. Let's see if we can just do this in less than 10 minutes. That's always my goal, a little 10-minute chat so that you can get some information and not be, tied to like study or whatever. Anyway, so my very, very favorite herb in all of the world is rhodiola. Well, I started to reverse engineer because not only did it help my daughter with her trichotillomania, not only did it help me balance out my hormones, not only did it helps, it's a mood brightener, it's a mind brightener, it's all of these different things. And I can never make any claims, right? But I can talk about my favorite book that goes along with it, which is The Rhodiola Revolution. So this is the book that I was reading out of on the video that I did that got over like 21,000 views, because people are really, really curious, I think, as to how to do things differently. We don't necessarily want all the side effects or the fact that a lot of scripts will leach vitamins and minerals out of your body. We don't want that downfall, right? So I'm actually going to read just a section, and then I'm just going to tell you to the best of my ability how I can make this work in your world, how this can help you. All right, so attention deficit disorder. This book talks about so many things. If you look this up on Amazon, you'll see all the different things that it's talking about that it can help with. There's a lot. Okay? So attention deficit disorder. Knowing that Rhodiola Rosea improves attention, concentration, learning, and memory. We've recommended it to patients with attention deficit disorder and dyslexia with good results. This is an exciting area for future research, especially because so many children are being diagnosed with ADD and their parents are concerned about the side effects of prescriptions and medications, and that is very, very true. The rhodiola that I recommend, 12 and over, is what it says, just FYI. If you have somebody that's younger than that, this conversation might not be connected for you. Alice's mother brought her to see Dick when she was 14 years, Alice's mother brought her to see Dick, the doctor, when she was 14 years old. She had already been diagnosed with ADD and anxiety, and it was easy to see why. She was so scattered and impulsive that she immediately went to the small bubbling fountain in the office and thrust her hands into the water. During the session, she couldn't sit still. She was up and down and pacing the room. Not surprisingly, Alice was having difficulty doing her schoolwork and relating to her peers. She had tried various medications with limited success, and much to her horror, she had gained 25 pounds on Celexa, which is citalopram, a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. Dick suggested that Alice try taking 300 milligrams a day of Rhodiola Rosea. Her schoolwork and organizational skills rapidly improved. She made friends and took up running. A few years later, she went on to college where she continued to do really well. Alice didn't realize that Rhodiola Rosea had made such a dramatic difference. Still, her mother gave glowing reports about her daughter's progress, which was evident the day that Alice managed to sit through an entire session without jumping up once. Like Alice, many young people are successfully treated for ADD in childhood or adolescence. But for some, the right treatment may not come along until much later. And this will lead into a little bit about my daughter also. This was the case with Jeremy, who sought help at age 27 when he was flunking out of graduate school. Jeremy had struggled with chronic low-level depression, severe dyslexia, and ADD since childhood. He told Dick that he never felt happy. In fact, he was intensely restless, easily distracted, and filled with self-blame. It wasn't all that surprising that he was failing in graduate school as well as on the dating front. That's kind of funny. Jeremy had tried nearly every medication available for his condition, with all with unbearable side effects. A course of SAM-E provided some relief from his depression, but once he added Rhodiola Rosea to his regimen, he got much better. Within a short time, his mood and energy improved. He was able to focus, complete his work with fewer errors, and for the first time ever, stop procrastinating. Wisely, Jeremy left graduate school for a good job, and he became involved in his first long-term relationship. That's kind of sweet. But anyway, so this is super interesting information when you realize that it can make such a significant difference for people they really don't want to go on meds to begin with, etc. So for my daughter, she never did go on meds. Now I'm talking about how this herb helped with her trichotillomania, but it's the same herb that helps with many, many things. You can read it on the front of the book. But at 13, when she was prescribed or given it by a naturopath and it worked for her, she didn't realize until she got pregnant with her first son and she chose not to take it, that her trichotillomania just flared up horribly. Then with her second son, she did some research and took a different dose to keep it at bay. And so, like it said, younger or older, sometimes the timing of our age, you just never know where it's going to help. Now, I was 45, I believe, when I started taking it. And I was taking it for brain fog because, again, multiple answers. And then it helped to balance up my hormones. So when it comes to ADD, I think that it's really super interesting because there are so many scripts that are available. And there's actually this one lady on TikTok. She's called Free Range Psychiatry. And she's a psychiatrist who left traditional medicine because she really believed that all of the medications that she was giving people all of these years were harming them far more than they were helping them. And she herself was on like 30 plus medications when she left the industry, which is really startling and alarming. So she left, got off of all of her medications, and now teaches people how to do that. So if we can avoid it to begin with, that's where again, knowing that so many people have been asking, checking on this video that I had done quite a while ago and saving it. Obviously, this is a conversation that a lot of people want to have. So I think that the next question that I get is, well, how do you know where to get, a reliable source? And of course, that's where I come in on that. But the reason why is because I've had people say to me, listen, I've tried different blends from different lines and they haven't worked for me. And most of the time with me, this is when I'm talking to women about hormone balancing or helping with imbalanced hormone symptoms. And so I just want you to know that there are places that you can get more efficacy-driven products, right? So you can go to KirstenLiebelt.com and you can see one of my buttons. I only have like 8 because I have everything very compact. And there is one that is for rhodiola, and you can look that up. However, I always want to encourage people, like if you want to know more about how I recommend women taking rhodiola for themselves, or if, now this is very specific, it says 12 and older, so I would never say to give it to a younger child, but if you want more information for yourself for like ADD or how to dose for that, you can always get this book, The Rhodiola Revolution. This is such an incredible book. And I use it a lot when I'm talking to my clients because there's just so much good information. I mean, even just the front of the book will tell you what rhodiola can do for you. Maximize energy, fight the effects of stress and aging, sharpen memory and concentration, protect against heart disease and cancer, ease anxiety and depression, improve sexual function, enhance physical performance, and block fat for a lasting weight loss. I mean, honestly, adaptogenic herbs are miraculous in so many different ways. Now, obviously, we would never say they cure things or anything like that. We have to be very careful about that, but we can say that God gave us some pretty phenomenal tools. And I've been using this exact blend that I have for 12 years. And this is where I get all of my testimonies from all of my clients that leave me voice messages and tell me how grateful that they are, that they were able to find something to help with whatever it is that they're dealing with, because people deal with different stuff with menopause. But anyway, when it comes to ADD, maybe you want to get this book. What a great resource, right? You just might be able to like either add on to something you're already doing or stave off and keep away from something that you are not wanting to get. You're not wanting to get on that train because maybe that's a train that's hard to get off later on. So, all right, thanks for joining me for today, and you have a super blessed day. KirstenLiebelt.com is the website, and you can just check that out. Have a good day.